All right, we're breaking down more of Forever Young on piano. If you guys need the sheet music, if you're learning this on your own, if you have somebody you want to teach this to, become a member at musicbythemeasurespro.com. My caffeine is settling in and I'm warming up, and was just thinking through how we're approaching this today. So yesterday I did right hand focus kind of, and then did a little bit of left hand, or both hands together on the verse. Sorry, I am just waking up yet, both those things. So I thought today it'd be good to start putting this idea together of the left and right hand. And that's not going to be smooth, it's not going to be pretty, but hopefully you guys can join me and learn it with me, and we'll go from there. So first things first, I'm just going to do half of it at a time, half this measure, and kind of like reiterate both right hand and left hand part together, because it's probably left most of my brain at this point. So our left hand, we're starting on, I'm gonna make sure I'm even doing, So we're coming all the way up to this middle C. Let me just get a little bit more comfortable. So our hands are kind of gonna be like sharing this space quite a bit. So something that I'm gonna have to get used to as well. So we got this 1 and a 2, 1 and a 2, and okay. At the same time, then on 2. So, because I am reestablishing my piano skills, this is something I just need to spend a lot of time on. 1 and a 2. Also, I get up to that C. 1 and a 2, and I mean, in a lot of ways, this thumb is coming all the way up here, right? 1 and a 2, and 1 and a 2, and now I'm just gonna go 1 and a 2. And a 2 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and 1 and a 2, and at the same time checking all my feet to make sure they're working. That's why my brain and my eyesight drift a little bit. 1 and a 2 and 1 and a 2, and slowing it down because 35 is gonna be super slow for that. See how slow 35 is. And a 2 and 1 and a 2, and so right away, like I try to get those 16th notes into my head. You know, if I can hear them. Okay, let's say it this way: if I can't hear it when I'm snapping, it means I'm not going to be able to put it to the piano, right? 1 and a 2. And 1 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 2, and so let's do left hand first because he's the one starting the show. 2 and 1 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and right hand, 1 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 one might think that's a ridiculous long time to spend on that. Yes and no. Uh, I'm teaching myself the neural pathways that I will continue to have to use to play piano at a better, higher level. All right, moving on. E minor. So here's where we're playing it out of context a little bit, so I have to see how I get back into that. Don't think I had the timing right. 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 3 E and okay, so that gives you a better idea. We got this E minor chord on 3, so we got 3 and 4 and so I'm just gonna play, even though there's not a lot going on, right? There's still just gonna be a little bit of a cumbersome exchange when I have to go from C to E minor. 3 and 4 and so let's do just that a minute. So 3 and 4 and left hand 3 and 4 and and 4 and so 3 and 4 and so I need to run through this a couple times without thinking about it too much. 3 and 4 and so just getting back to that E minor chord is throwing me off. 3 and 4 and okay. So let's do just those two again. So 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and so and 4. I got that part down. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and all right. Now I have to put those two together. So we've already done hands separate. It might seem like I'm stalling because I am a little bit. We've already done hands separate. So putting them together, right? 1 and 2. Oh, I get all the way to C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, not as bad as I thought. I'm just going to do that like 10 times without metronome, though, to get this idea into my head. It's the splitting of your brain, right, when right and left hand come together. And I remember as a child, like, and taking piano lessons from ages like 9 to 12, being atrocious at putting my hands together with this kind of stuff. So we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm just going to do it about 12 times and then try it with metronome and fail. 1 and 1 and 2 I have to like recover. It takes so much brain power for me to do this. One and now that's easy for me now, right? When I first started, it wasn't, but I can hear that. But then all of a sudden, when you have to do this. Just gonna do that until it like becomes a part of my brain. One and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and all right. Moment of truth. This is probably not going to work out, and that's okay. One and a two and three and a four and one and a two and three and four and again and a four and one and a two and all right. I've had the same experience with drums and everything as well, where like you do it with metronome and it forces you to play a little faster than you're ready, or you're not ready to commit to that tempo, right? So now try it by yourself, do it a couple times, and then try it again with metronome, and that's just going to be the process. And that kind of proves my point right there, right? It's cold water that I'm scared to get into right now. It's like shit. I don't want to look like an asshole, and I'm usually fine to look like an asshole, but I'd prefer not to, right? I'd like to look competent, and that's just not, doing this number 6 is not competency level yet. But you have to have that failure point, right? Like a minute ago, I couldn't play it with metronome. Now I can hear where that beat's supposed to land, and that's the huge fucking difference. Sorry for the language on a keyboard. Piano, sorry. I changed the name from keyboard to piano. But anyway, let's try it again with metronome and see how we do. And a 2 and 3 and a 4 and So right now the notes being in time or being the right notes aren't happening, and that's okay. I had one good one. All right, let's do a couple by ourselves again without metronome. And a 2 and 3 and a 4 and and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and three and 4 and let's try right hand only. 1 and 2 and 3 going to end. Yeah. I can live with that. All right. Before I waste all my brain power, which is very limited, as you might have caught on to, let's get these other measures down. Otherwise, I'm gonna be like 15 minutes in and be petering out. All right, so same exact thing. I think we're just gonna go 1 and 1. So we got some interesting things going on. Yeah. All right. So I gotta review this. And not play it wrong today. All right, so we got that E, C, A. So we got A minor there. Left hand, I think, is going to help me play that, or left hand and right hand together is going to help me put that little bit of a ghost note in before. Right? So what's going to be tricky is, actually, no, you can use your left hand then to tell you when to lift up your right hand. So we're going 1, E, and, right? So did it wrong, but 1, E. Oh my, that's tricky. Okay, right hand only for a second. 1, and I'm going to put 16th notes in. And just for my own brain, and maybe anyone who's following along, this is what I'm trying to tackle right now. And just zoning in on just that right hand is going to help. So we have this, right? And then that rest is and. 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and tricky part now. The beginning of this is going right, so that little bit of that this beat being early, that ghost note, is enough to make me like say screw it, I don't know how to count anymore. 1 E, 1 E and 1 E and yeah, and it actually be and yeah, tricky. And you could play this with your right hand as well. I like how John chose to write this out though, so I'm going to keep doing it the way that he wrote it as well. 1 E and honestly, if John wrote it on piano, he's a genius piano player, and then why would I even try to play it differently? 1 E and yeah, I can play that all right, so we're just going to go super slow. I kind of feel like it's tricky to end on that but I'm going to do it so I can get used to that idea. All right, I'm doing that same thing I did in the last measure. I'm stalling because I don't know how to play it. 1 E and okay, on end I need to lift both those up. 1 E and 1 E and okay, and now we got 1 E. There we go. I want to try to get that flam-like sound. If it falls apart, it falls apart. 1 E and yeah. Good luck to me. 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and 1 yeah, that's not happening yet. We're just gonna have to count through this about 100 more times. To make it easier for myself, I could also just go 1 E and that there's 3 different things, or for sure 2 different things that are causing my brain massive, I wouldn't say panic, but like overthinking. Step number 1. 1 and so I kind of have to ignore my left hand and just let it happen. 1 and 1 and all right. So we're just kind of working through this step by step, obviously. My right hand having to lift up on that and for just the A and the C. 1 E and 1 E and all right. So next thing to add is that E there. So we're going 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and without lifting up that pinky. See? 1 E. No. Yeah, that was right. 1 E and So I might have like maxed out my CPU on that, but that's okay. I'm gonna do this for a little bit longer, and then I want to make sure I have enough like mental thought to run through the next 3 measures as well. So it's gonna seem it's gonna seem, because it's true, that I don't have this one down yet. I don't have it down well enough to put it all together, and you can see the 3 issues that I'm having with it, right? But that's fine. Tomorrow it'll kind of work some of itself out. All right, so let's do it again. We got 1 E and again 1 E and 2 and nope, that E would still be held down. 2 and so just a decent amount of technique that I clearly don't have. 1 E and 2 and if you guys are trying this out at home, I would love, and this is not being, sounds like I'm being an asshole a little bit when I say love, I would love to see everyone play this. If I can get close to playing it, close to attempting it, you guys can surely learn this. And it would make me feel good. Like I could see a video of somebody playing this. So if you're watching and you play piano, send it. You can attach a video link right in this description. Our Twitter, our Instagram, or all those great little things. All right. 1 E and 2 and we got about 100 more times to do that. 1 E and again, what I 2 and what I really like is it is telling my right hand when to move. My right hand doesn't want to listen, but it is telling me, right? So let's see if 35 is possible. What I'm probably going to start doing is a little bit of right hand, left hand. No, I think I got to do it all together. If I could count this while I play, that's going to be the key to success. And 1 E and 2, 2 and 2 and 1 E and 2 and 2 and 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 I'm trying things. So trying to see if like I can get the idea of like at least half of the measure down, right? Then and by half, literally half of the section we're working on. If I can do that, then I can kind of like slowly slide into the that lifting up on the end. 1 E and 2 and I got bad news for myself, and we're just gonna look ahead a minute to give myself a little bit of a rest. On 3, it's kind of playing that flam idea again, so we're going to that F, C, and our right hand is playing a C and an A. That's how it would be played. All right, and now we're taking my mental energy and moving to this D minor chord. Just ignoring that A minor for right now. So just because I know kind of where I'm at, I think putting a 30 there would be wise. Then I know, like, hey, you can't play it at 35 yet, which is about, I think, full speed 64, so not bad. Um, and this kind of goes back to something I was saying a while ago, another one of these videos, and I'll be redundant because not everyone watches any of these, or I mean, not anybody watches all of these. Um, you gotta, I have to decide what I want out of my practice, right? If I have like 45 minutes to an hour, yeah, I could spend another 30 minutes on that, but really, I feel like I have the idea enough in my head that I can move on and tomorrow spend 10 minutes on it again and 10 minutes on it, 10 minutes on it, and then eventually they'll come together. But if I spend another 30 minutes on it right now, that's not going to resolve it. It's going to start having diminishing returns. So I'm better off being like, all right, take what brain power I have and this move it to this next section and get this idea kind of like thought out in your head. And again, that's going like, okay, is my ambition to get this measure perfect or to learn the intro? Well, today is intro both hands together. So just sometimes take your loss is probably what I need to say. I don't actually consider that a loss right now. All right, enough rambling, enough stalling. We got this D minor, 1 E, and a 2 E and a. So we're gonna have to do just right hand on that a little bit. It's these extra little things, right? This little. Now what's nice is my left hand's doing almost nothing in this part. 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and some reason I can't get back to that. 1 E and 2 E and we gotta copy this 35. And 2 E and 1 E 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 and 2 E. Shoot, 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and. All right. So what's left hand doing? D, and then we're taking over that A. And you can see just right hand, left hand working together. I struggle. So 1 E and I shouldn't be as bad on this one. I feel like I'm giving up space for it. So we got 1 E and 2. So on 2 E and that is going to take me some time. That's what we're here for, though. So we definitely know that 30 is probably the right tempo for this section as well. So I just need to talk myself through this a couple times. 1. This is kind of funny though too, because yesterday I did right hand separate, left hand separate, and I was feeling like accomplished. Like shit, I could become a piano player with some more effort. Today I'm kind of like, damn, piano. That's a hard one. 1 E and 2 E and same kind of issues on that A minor chord. All right, I'm gonna stop my rambling because I think I'm just stalling. 1 E and 2 E and All right, let's hear how 30 is for that. And 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and brain is not even functioning at that point. That's okay. So we need to kind of figure out like who can we follow, right? So we got one. So one is not a problem. If you play the chord wrong, it's a problem. 1 E and 2 E and It's the same lesson that I learned earlier. Do it with metronome and fail, and then try it by yourself. 1 E and 2 E and Just for fun, we're going to 3. That's a tricky one too, because gotta have that right setup for this. 3 and 4. That part of the measure is really freaking easy comparatively, right? 3 and 4. 4. So we got 3 and 4. This is the measure I need to work on because it gives me a little break. All right, back to work. So we got 1 E and 2 E and well shit. 1 E and 2 E and all right, I think I can make a game out of 2 E and 2 E and but I need to hear that. So 2 E and 2 E and Now even if it allows me to hear it or get the muscle memory down, it'll allow me to cheat a little bit and get that passage. Say cheat, trick myself into being able to learn it. So we got 1 E and 2 E and voila. 1. Leaving that F out sometimes. 1 E and 2 E and the fun measure. 3 and so we really want to end up with those two fingers on the 3. 3 and 4 and back to the D minor. So we got 1 E and 2 E and 3. All right, back to the D minor. We're going to do a D minor a couple more times. Let's try it with metronome and just see how it is. And 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 2 E and 1 E 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 Sorry, my fingers were not in the right spot. Can't do it, and that's okay. All right, couple without metronome. One more. One E and 2 E and to the A minor. 3 and okay. Whew. We're moving on. I see 2 easier measures ahead. Okay, so not tail between the legs yet, but just like, damn, that's some work. In my mind, it's if I think Bastion series, which I used to teach out of, is a pretty good series. They had like level 4, and then I think they moved to classical music. Most I ever taught to was level 2.5. You know, I had a couple kids venture into level 3. I would put this as a level 3. Again, I'd like to hear your guys' feedback. John, who writes all of our sheet music for us, love to hear him where he kind of puts this. So me tackling this with a 2.5 skill level out of, wow, that'd be out of 10. So, all right. We have this lower F here. We have a and C here. We got 1 and 2 and. I like this measure. It's my favorite measure so far. 2 and. Probably don't need to do 30 at that measure. Now, let's talk about an ideal practice scenario. And part of that scenario involves you guys. If you guys sign up and become members at musicbythemeasurespro.com, we can do more of these breakdowns. Shit, I'd spend 8 hours on this if you guys wanted me to, because you'd be paying my bills. And your membership, it has sheet music included, has video. You guys can choose what music you need written for you. You choose what videos we do as well. All of it is kind of like user generated. The ideal scenario is tonight I'd come back from teaching lessons and I'd run through this, or whatever I'm doing tonight, who knows, but most likely lessons. We'd come back and hit that A minor and D minor section. 2-a-day practices are where you kind of really like solidify stuff and get really good. So we'll see. If you see forever our 6.5 tonight, you know I try to tackle it again. It's kind of where like your best learnings are, because you're reiterating what you've already tackled. You're not waiting a whole 24-hour period or whatever it takes to get another practice session in. And that's where real growth in my mind happens. So we got 1 and 2 and. All right, the favorite measure of the day. 2 and 1 and 2 and. So then we're moving, I guess everyone's moving up, right? Because our left hand's going 3 and 4, 1 and 2. Sorry, I finished off that measure 2, 4 and tried to put more beats in there. So we got 1 and 2 and 3 and then, nope, that's 4. So I got to count out that G measure, right? We just moved from 2, 4. And a lot of 16th notes to all of a sudden just 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right hand is starting with a B and D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 let's try those together. So we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and still a little bit of a mental gymnastics for me. Weakened state. 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and we're gonna try to tackle that whole measure. See what happens. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. It's probably how I'd actually think about it. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Because I don't have to count all those eighth notes. See if I can work my way through that without metronome, kind of sloppily. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Right idea. Again. 1 and 2 and yeah, that's right. Okay. Sorry, my brain was thinking about that A minor to C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and the left hand is going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and together. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And we're going to do it about 12 more times. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Don't even know if I can do this, but we'll try. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, So, let's see. We got a little bit of time left. Really should try to... I love the different metronome tempos. Like, you're screwed. You can't play this full speed. I'm going to really shittily, crappily put this together. Just to kind of like put this all into a nice little box. And we'll see. We're not going to worry about metronome at all because we can't play it. But just to get the idea. Be a nice little marker to see like where we're at. So we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down to this A minor. Long pause. Minor. You can hear parts of it are there, just not together. And then we move down. Move up to the... No, I was right. Oh yeah, that makes sense. And then it moves to there. Okay. Now up to the G. Well, shit. That's just gonna be some work. All right, before we're out of time and energy, let's just play this. Let's not worry about metronome. Just don't want this idea to leave my brain. All right, I've got to slow that down. 1, 2, and more times with that. Again, I just don't want it to get rusty at this when I've already put all that work in, right? And I kind of choose to like give myself brand new stuff to work on and then review old. I think oftentimes in lessons or practice, we like, hey, I'm good at this. I'm going to keep playing this. Well, shit. Only reason you're good at this is because you've done it 100 times. The only reason, or the only way you're going to get good at the other stuff is ignoring the stuff you're good at and do new stuff and challenge yourself. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3. So that what's getting me is right in the other one is there. Here it's just this. Shit. It happens. I skipped the F. I think I skipped the F. Gonna call it there for today. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for paying attention. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know if you're practicing, what you're practicing, or if you guys just like to watch me fail. And I'm fine with either one of those. All right. You guys have a good rest of your day.